Hey all, it's Paul from Drums and Rums with the Backbeats Meets the Spirits, and we've got again. I know I say it every time, but we've got a great guest. I'm really interested, and we've got a lot of things to cover here. But when it comes to the term spirits, do we still look at that word rum the same way as it referred to during the Prohibition back in the 1920s, or further back when the term rum originated in the 1650s, as it first mentioned in records in Barbados as Kill Devil? But do some still believe that spirit in the bottle, if imbibed too much, can release a demon? So let's find out more about spirits, demons, and rum. An eco friendly bottle that's 6 times less carbon and is 5 times lighter than glass at the same size. A tie in with NASCAR driver Brendan Gaughan. And let's find out who's this new captain in town. Let me introduce to the podcast Wayne Karls, co founder and CMO of Demon Spirits. Good morning, Wayne. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning.
So
I'm doing
yeah,
awesome.
there,
Thanks for having us.
yeah. So there's a lot to for us to unpack from that intro there. There's a lot to cover there, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, there's plenty. I mean, dig in. I mean, go ahead.
All
Fire
right.
away because I mean, we've been around for about well, I think we're going on year 8 here. We're in year 7 of our existence and yeah, we're happy to be here,
Very
quite
cool.
frankly.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's. So I know doing a little bit of a little bit of researching. There's a lot of history there. We kind of touched upon a little bit in the intro. Obviously about prohibition and even further back, and with the term "kill devil." And I know you've got the story, and I'll let you share it. How you got to the name, and but I get for those that actually, and to be honest, I've heard of Kill Devil, heard the term used, rum bullion, and all the things that it came out of out of the West Indies during that time, and obviously the Kill Devil in North Carolina. But I've never heard the term demon rum or in no sense. But was researching there, found an article on gotrum.com, and they actually were talking about it was also referred to during that time during the Prohibition and temperance movement of the term
Right.
demon rum. So let's let's
Yeah.
let's jump right to there. We'll go for because I know you've got your how you got to the name, and maybe I won't give it away, but how word or the name came about in what you're going to share.
Sure.
Maybe that was based off of that term maybe used during the Prohibition time. Maybe I don't know. So let's hear it.
Indeed, it was. So you're right. You're right. I mean, it goes way back, into the pirate, the rum slave trade, way back. We won't go that far back, but prohibition in the 1920s, literally almost anything, any liquor, any substance that would make men crazy was called demon. That demon rum, liquor in itself was called demon rum. So I don't care if you're drinking whiskey or whatever, right? It was the demon. The demon got him, and that's how it really got sold in to become what it was. It became prohibition because of this movement built around the idea that liquor made people, men at the time, mostly men, a little bit crazy. So uh, it became known as that demon rum. So um, not it wasn't always all rum. It was everything, but it the moniker stuck to rum, and that demon rum became kind of the overarching uh,
Get
flag
blame for
for the
everything.
movement.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And it's what's interesting. I was thinking more about it, and reading a little bit of that article, talk about how at that time in the Prohibition, rum really wasn't even still in fashion up to because whiskey had started to transition to whiskey during that time period in the U.S. in America.
Right.
So it's like it's gotten a bad reputation as being picked on or used as more of and again that's why rum is so cool because it's got so many histories and so many angles and I don't know. Again, there's like you said, the
Yeah.
connotation based out of originations out of West Indies. Is it maybe always associated with pirates? So of course, pirates are bad guys. No
Mhm.
offense to our friends the pirates, like the river pirate. But again, there's a connotation. I mean, there's nothing cool about okay, unless you're maybe James. Even James Bond doesn't even drink gin. Anyway, I'm getting way off topic here. Let's get back into rum. So,
Right.
but then this term here really stuck with you though one evening, right?
Right. Right. I'll kind of carry it forward. So my business partner, Jeff Warren, um, he was ready to go out on the town one night. He was at a bar with his buddy, and this is kind of how things carry forward, right? So that moniker or whatever that demon thing carried forward from prohibition, right? So he's sitting there, and his father was after uh maybe he had a cocktail too, I'm not sure. They were at a bar, and his father said to Jeff and his friend Steve, he said, "Don't let the demon get you," you know. So in an odd sort of a way, I'm sure that carried forward from prohibition, right?
Hmm.
That thing, and it stuck with Jeff in his head so much because he was actually out drinking rum and coke that night, and he had a bad one,
Mm.
didn't taste very good, and he said, Jesus, what a great name for a rum brand, Demon Rum, right? And it just popped in his head, and it was in there, and it stuck with him 10 years later, however many years later. uh I meet the guy, built he's a home builder here in western Wisconsin, Divine Custom Homes. um and he's talking, we got to be friends, good friends actually, and we're out with our wives, and he says, tells us his story, and he's in bars, he's in restaurants, and he's asking for the product as if it existed, and it didn't exist
Wait, 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 wait,
yet.
wait, 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 wait. Hold on. Let me pause there. Wait. So Jeff is asking for his rum that doesn't exist yet.
Before it, right?
That is gangster. Okay, that is great. And I want to do talk a
It
little bit.
is.
Wait, a little bit about marketing because I know you've got some back. That's another part of your hats you wear,
Right.
and I think it's a very important
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. So you're sitting in the bar. He's asking for a rum that doesn't exist yet. His rum
Yeah.
that doesn't quite exist yet. So go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So really, I mean, what a beautiful way to test the viability of a brand, right? You're asking
Mm.
bar owners, restaurant owners, bartenders, hey, do you guys have Demon Rum? And they would say, geez, I don't know. Let me ask my owner or whoever. And they would say, we should. It sounds like something we should have, right? And they wouldn't have it. So yeah, so that's how it happened. and
Oh,
and we would do that. We would go to restaurants, and he would do that. He would ask for Demon Rum, and they wouldn't have it, of course. So, I think it was one New Year's Eve, I think it was between 2014 2015. um I said, look, Jeff, I think I bought maybe it was some rounds of Bacardi or something, some quality rum of some kind. And I said, look, let's toast. Let's just say this for starters. This day, if we can make it happen in the future, let's give Demon Rum a shot, right? So that's how it happened.
all right.
And that's the beginning.
That that is, and again, for those that listen, and I'm sure you have is, I do like this is the part about the podcast. Again, I don't do reviews, as we know they're subjective, and I know everyone loves doing them, everyone on YouTube and so forth. And I could, but I'm very fascinated, obviously, talking to the brands, the owners. Because there's a big business side of this too, right? Is just to kind of understand a little bit of
Yes.
what's behind it, and there's marketing. I think that's great. I mean, it's almost like a Steve Jobs move. Like You need this iPod. Well, what is an iPod? Well, you need it. It's one of the. So you can tell Jeff that I think of him
Right.
just like Steve Jobs. I'm comparing him there.
Oh boy.
Steve
Yeah.
Jobs. All right. So if you listen, Jeff, you're the Steve Jobs of rum. There you go.
Boom.
Boom.
He
Soundbite.
might well be.
So okay. So New Year.
Fast forward five
Yeah.
years, and Demon Rum's everywhere, and bam,
Yep.
there you have it.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean it's great. Obviously, you guys have your vision, your brand already thought of, the passion and the drive to go get it. So how do you go from that cheers that night on New Year's to actually
Great question.
getting there and having a product?
Great question. So, you have to, the first thing I did was, and I'll be honest with you, I was shocked when I did dig into it. You have to find out if it's being used already somewhere, in the world, right?
Mhm.
So I did a trademark search, and to my surprise, Demon Rum was not being used anywhere, even though it had that history.
Right.
So,
Right.
that was the shock, quite frankly, for me, because in the back of my mind, on that New Year's Eve, I was thinking we will not be able to use a name like Demon Rum. It's being used somewhere, or somehow, somewhere,
Right.
right? So, yeah, so I checked it out, and it was there. There it sat, uh, ready for us to scoop it up, and we did. So,
And that's
yeah,
considering another marketing mastermind is that everybody kind of like hates, but they look up to him is Gene Simmons. And
yeah,
considering he's the demon in Kiss, I'm surprised that he would have been. I mean, I know they have their own product, of course, that's Kiss Rum or whatever. But yeah,
right.
you would have thought that the demon. But yeah, that's kind of
I
in.
mean,
Yeah,
pick one, pick anybody. I mean, the number of people. Gene Simmons is a good one. Yeah, you
yeah,
could say, I mean, Alice Cooper. I mean, all the way down the rock line, right? Um,
yeah.
Somebody should have snagged that
Oh,
thing.
yeah, for sure. Because there's so much play on many words, especially heavy metal and I don't know,
Right.
maybe celebrity celebrity spirits is only more newer in the last maybe it's 5 to 7 years or so,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. It's really gotten huge, right? So in essence, that's how you start, right? You have to see if you can move forward with it, and that's what I did, and after that, it was really a journey, with Jeff and I and our wives, and we decided, hey, how are we going to move forward with this thing? Do we want to distill our own rum? Do we want to uh, just put the label on somebody else's rum, like you see a lot of going on right now? But in the end, we realized that the Caribbean is where rum is king. I mean, that's where it was born, and it thrives. It's been thriving for hundreds and hundreds of years. So we decided, look, we're not going to pretend we can become rum masters and put a name on, a really cool name on something that really isn't that good. So we went and we found the best rum we could find, and we boy, we played with flavor profiles and mixology for a long time, and that's when we landed on what we believe is one of the smoothest flavor profiles in the rum industry. Yeah, for our demon spiced rum, and we launched that in like about a year later, actually.
Oh
um
wow,
Actually, it was exactly a year.
that
Yeah.
to go from that in the course of a year to pull it all together
Mhm.
is pretty aggressive and pretty remarkable to go from the concept to actual product.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
the
was it was it was a big thing.
so
that
the
that's this is our flagship right
oh
here.
okay, there it is.
uh yeah. the spiced rum.
So the spice rum there. So let's talk a little bit about that. That is 80 proof, whereas as we were talking a little bit there before, yeah, there's a lot of spice rums on the market. There's a particularly big one, and there's as you know there's a lot of discussion about taking a deep breath here. I'm trying to think about it. Is the term what is considered rum, and even at the 30, like one of the bigger names of spice rums is not even at 80 proof, but your product is 80 proof, right? So one of the other out there, right? So again, if those that are looking at a product is say, hey, look, you're getting gypped out here of some good rum, and it's even lower proof than than some other things like yours. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, quite honestly, we could have our rum be stronger. There's rums out there that are stronger,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, we want people to enjoy it in one cocktail, two cocktails, maybe three, maybe four. And but if you start cutting it by too much and making it something other than, I would say, rum, it becomes an ingredient for a cocktail as opposed to the main ingredient for a cocktail,
Fair. Yep. Yep.
right?
I agree.
So yeah. So that's where we wanted to be. So that's why we stuck right with that 80 proof, and it's an industry kind of standard, I would say.
Yep.
Uh, really, yeah. So
So you
quite
go.
frankly, it's right where we want to be.
Yeah. No. I love seeing rums that are at least at 80 proof, right? Because again, the nomenclature and there's a lot of debate about what should be called rum, and and it's kind of the U.S. doesn't have a very guidelines as much as in out in the Caribbean and Barbados, or other places that the term rum has to be of certain, or the product considered rum has to be of certain types of things. We have it with bourbon, obviously, uh, but it can't be certain other things, and that's why rum is kind of they always say the wild west of the spirits world, right? Is but there's
Sure,
there's a whole there was
sure. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. So obviously, rum comes from sugarcane molasses, right?
mhm,
That's how it was made. And you could probably make rum from a lot of different things, but where rum is king in the Caribbean, that's how you get it. And that's what it's made from. And if it's not made from that, it's really not rum,
yep.
quite frankly. So,
Right, yeah. I know there's a lot of debate about beets and sugar beets and things, and it's like,
yeah.
well, yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, I agree. So we go from brand a name to bottled, and now
Yes.
now that part of taking it, and then obviously now you've been planting the seed for the name out there in Wisconsin, which again, in fairness, right, is not probably most people wouldn't think of Wisconsin, right? Let's be fair, right? But yes, rum could be made anywhere, and it is as long as the products are sourced, and which is easy. But yeah, talk about how some of that marketing and how some of that now that you've got the actual bottle and we as we know and I'm sure you painfully know is it's not easy, getting the product out there. I mean, it is if you got good stuff, but you still got to get people in the people's hands, right?
You do. And okay, that's a great question. How do we get from A to B or A to C or A to D? Um, so right, we're in Wisconsin. Now, people wouldn't think that Wisconsin is a rum state, but trust me, there's a lot of people here that drink a lot of rum. And some big brands are sold here, very big brands. So it wasn't something that it was foreign to us, really. It wasn't like, oh, let's start some like bizarre liquor spirit, you know, here in Wisconsin and see if it grabs hold. We knew that it would sell here. Now, that being said, people are entrenched in their brands,
Mm,
right? And it's kind of hard to turn their favor from what they're used to something new, even though it might have some big brand appeal, which is what we were going for, right?
mm,
When I heard Demon Rum, and I heard it for however many years over the bar, and Jeff's brilliant test marketing, um, I knew that it had a certain appeal, but in Wisconsin, it was a little bit of a trick, right? To get people to make that shift. It still is. We're still turning people's minds here, but really, that's I'll say about a year or two into it, we made the decision to consider Nevada because of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
right.
It is
Sin
Sin
City.
City, right?
Yeah.
Sin City, let's bring Demon Rum to Sin City. And quite frankly, we thought if we can't make it in Sin City with a brand like Demon Rum, then we're doing something wrong. So that's what we did. We went from here to there. And that became our test ground, our validation place, quite frankly. So that's what we're doing. We're still doing it,
Right.
and making headway, and with a new brand and a young company, and you're up against a lot of big brands everywhere with unbelievable budgets, right? So we are the David and the Goliath story, right?
Yep.
Quite frankly.
Yep. And that's why, again, like I said, kind of the focus that I approach it with, the podcast and the guests and the brands is, you know obviously, it very interesting, obviously the entrepreneurial aspect of it, smaller brands, what they bring, there's a story. And as I always say, Wayne, is, guests to come on the podcast is, here's an opportunity, if you can, in the conversation, sell that story or people connect, right? It's like the Oprah effect, right? Where everybody will buy whatever Oprah's pitching. It doesn't matter what it is. Oprah said so, right? And again, because there's a connection with that, and that's hopefully a lot of the, everyone who comes on is, people that are listening. There's a connection. They're like, all right, that's really cool. I'm gonna learn. I've now learned about it or heard about it, or I really like this guy Wayne and Jeff. These guys are really creative and and so forth, and so I think there's that aspect of, yeah, to try to make that connection with the listener or a person, that's for them to seek that out. And yeah, so obviously, that I think that's a great opportunity for y'all to go through that. So now you're, as you mentioned, you're going through, you've already laid the subliminal messages, for the last couple of years. And I'm sure, you like a lot of the brands that are the new brands, craft brands. You got to, you're hitting the pavement, right? You're beating the street. You're doing your getting into the, either you just said in Las Vegas, or obviously getting into the stores. So have you been predominantly focusing on getting into liquor stores, restaurants, or bars, or combination of the two, or anywhere that anybody will take it?
Well, it has to be both.
Mm,
It has to be both because your bars and restaurants are really where people sample new products. If you have a good management system and bartender crew, wait staff, to help you introduce a new brand, that's where you do it. You do it on premise, and it's a great place to do it in Las Vegas because you've got people literally coming from everywhere,
right.
everywhere in the world, right? So it's the perfect test ground, quite frankly, from a marketing standpoint. It's like, hey, look, we've got people taking our brand and going all over the world
Right.
with it. Oh wow, look what I found. I found this. I found that. So we're finding that, quite frankly. So um, then once you have these retail, I'll call them on-premise establishments, restaurants and bars, um, selling or introducing your brand. Now people want to have a place to go and get it, and they have to be able to find it in a liquor store
Mm,
near them.
right.
Now you can only go state by state with liquor, spirits. So in Las Vegas, for example, people can go around and they can find it in the liquor store as they can in Wisconsin. Um, so that's how it's done. It has to be. It's a two-step process, really. It's not very seldom do people go in a liquor store and stumble across something and go, "Wow, I think I'm going to buy that." It
Yeah.
doesn't happen that way. It's
No.
because they tried it somewhere.
Right. And
Yeah,
again, can you show the bottle again? Hold the bottle up there in front of the camera
sure,
there, because I think
sure. Here we go.
again that's just a little bit. Of the, oh, sorry. There you go.
Nope. Here we go.
I'm not sure which way I'm pointing now. So
Oh, here we go.
yeah, there you go.
I guess right in front of me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Perfect. Um, yeah.
And this, like I said, this is our spiced and we have the Tropicoco,
Okay.
which
Okay.
that's our lighter rum. And you can see there's some missing out of that bottle right there. Jeez, how did that happen?
Uh-oh. There's some angel share going on.
Someone didn't fill that all the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. You know, I've got a line here. I'm gonna come back to what I was gonna originally say. I think I may have forgotten now, but I'll say it's the irony of the term used in spirits and angels share and demon, right? Again, that's what everything is about, is angels and demons and so forth. So angels share, and then right.
Yeah.
Um, Damn, I did forget what I was gonna go say, but oh no, yeah. So we're holding the bottle up there. We were just talking about was yeah, like you said, there's that aspect, and for me, I do find that look, at the end of the day, it's got to have good juice in the bottle. We all know that, right?
Correct.
But
Yeah.
and there's some that have poor, usually it's on the lower shelf, but there is a branding aspect of it, and it's got to, if you, like you said, if you've seen it in the bar or you learn about it or see a billboard, etc., somebody would say, hey, oh, I can get it here. And that is always a challenge too, is as a smaller brand, is blowing up too fast, creating the demand and not keeping up, and then it could be very detrimental. So um, but I think, it's got to jump off the shelf if I've never seen it before, and it kind of piques my interest. I'm like, okay, I've seen the tons and tons of Diplomatico and tons of the Bacardis and tons of, Foursquare and all these other things. I know of these brands, but I mean, I guess for me, I always find I was like, well, who is that next brand? Who is that new brand that I don't know of or nobody else has heard of, right? And obviously, with the rum
Yeah.
communities and social media, Facebook, everyone wants to show off their bottle or something that they found or something that they, hey, has anyone ever heard of or seen this and tried this before? Or, and with a lot of the rum enthusiasts, which even the rum enthusiasts are different kind of groups, even within that one group. There's, subgroups and so forth, right? So again, to me, I think there's a real interesting aspect. You've got to have a product that's going to make people's attention, for those that may not be aware of it, or an opportunity, or again, I'm into the whole branding aspect of and how to market. Again, that's all about. I think it's great to have those conversations with uh, you know folks like you, owners, brands. That interesting aspect of moving product, right? Because again, like I said earlier, it is a business, right? And as consumers, it's good to have a little bit of understanding, because there's so much, as you probably know, a lot of transparency is being really discussed in the rum world. Rum products, putting things on the bottles and labels, and there's a big push to transparency and so forth. So, but speaking of transparency, the new bottle. Let's talk about this eco bottle, because
Let's.
this is when talking, I talked with Rick, your one of your
Rick Renville. Yeah.
yep, yep, and he was explaining it and telling me, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, this is crazy. This sounds crazy, right? And I, nobody's ever sound. I don't think anyone's ever done it. And I guess you're gonna tell me if that's true or not. So yeah, this eco bottle. What is it? Why?
I'll fill you in.
Yeah. Let's hit the lowdown because again, we're coming up here in the next couple few days here. It's gonna be Earth Day, right? And that's one of the
Correct.
great things. And this eco bottle is fits right into that.
Yeah, it's a big exciting thing, quite frankly. So we're the first brand, spirit brand in the United States, North America, actually, to produce and bottle and sell a product in this bottle. It's been available in the UK, and some products have done it. That's where the original manufacturer started testing and putting this product out there. It's made from 94% recycled paperboard,
Hmm.
and it's a solid. I mean, it's really cool. There's a flavor proof sealed liner inside.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing about, yeah, so it's not like you put your product inside paper. That's not it at all. It's actually a liner, uh biodegradable liner. The whole thing is fully recyclable, and it breaks down. The cool thing about it is, and we're launching it. We're actually doing a press release. By the time this airs, I believe our bottle will be officially launched. So that will be the 12th of April,
All right.
right next week.
That's right. Right around.
Which is when you launch this, it'll be yesterday or 2 days ago or
Right.
whatever.
So this is like
Right.
the future or the past or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
all
We're
depends on
messing
when.
with you
Yeah, it
now.
all depends on when you're listening to this. So,
Yeah. Right.
so yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
So
yeah,
so
okay, go ahead.
you'll be able to see it. Actually, you'll be able to see it online. You can look at it on our site at drinkdemonrum.com. Shameless plug.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I tell you, the beautiful thing about it is, so we've had this sustainable kind of initiative in the backs of our mind as a young brand. You want to grow your company in a certain way, and we decided a long time ago that's the way we wanted to do this. So our products are all natural, 100% all natural, real sugar cane, molasses rum, that kind of thing. So really good pure product. So we wanted to kind of echo that in what we put our product in. We started looking around, and we found this company out of the UK, and now this new an extension of them, maybe I will say, is Kingsbury out of Canada, and we are the first bottle in North America, spirit bottle in North America, to have this paper bottle, and it's really cool. I mean, when you see the graphics on these bottles, it is dynamic. It's going to be a game changer. The carbon footprint is like so 5 times less, I'll say. It uses 84% less water to produce than glass. I'm talking glass, and glass is a fairly pure product, right?
Right.
But even still, the industry is in need of change, quite frankly. So along with that, I'm just gonna on top of this paper bottle, we're also teaming up with a company called Eco Drive. With every bottle sold of Demon Rum, I don't care if it's in glass or if it's in our paper bottle, we're planting a tree. We're donating so that a tree gets planted. Mango Grove down in wherever Eco Drive is planting at the time. But these are verifiable, planted. You can track actually your tree. It's pretty crazy. So beautiful kind of continuation of the whole sustainability mantra. So it's fun.
That is awesome, and that's it. I'm glad you explained a little bit more. You went a little further and talked about the lining, because I'm sure that's the first thing everyone's going to ask and or listening is, well, how does it flavor the taste with the paper, or um, uh, get impacted by the paper, or the rum and so forth, and that's great. So I applaud you, right, you guys, in looking at that from that perspective. Applaud, putting a little bit more, giving back to, I guess you call it the community or the world, Um,
Well,
and yeah, and we know, and as you probably know, and over the last so many years, supply chain has been crazy. And obviously bottles. I know I've a lot of people I talked to bottling. Because most of it's get sourced from overseas. It was a big supply chain issue and so forth. So I mean that's great. I mean being the first in something like this, and people are going to definitely get behind it because everyone is all about we all live here together in this planet that we're that's all right. That's why we're going to
right.
Mars. That's why we're going to Mars, right? We're ditching this, but no, but
Yeah,
yeah, I can't
I
wait.
hear you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, and touch it and feel it firsthand.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
really cool, and
yeah,
it's a substantial. I mean, people go, how can that be stable? And I mean, you literally can, you have, you could throw it off the table. You can, it's unbreakable,
that's
basically, and it presents itself to all kinds of new scenarios, like pool
mm,
decks, boats, beaches, that kind of thing, where you don't want glass,
right.
frankly. And like I said, glass is a fairly clean product, but you know, let's use some of what we've produced and thrown away, and that's really what the paperboard bottle is. It's 94% recycled paper, and it's very sturdy. And the coolest thing about it, in my mind, from a marketer, is we can brand that thing all the way around 360. It's got dynamic graphic capabilities, and if you take a look on the website, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really cool.
Cool. And and that's a great point about the different applications now. You're right about the pool decks and places, and the glass is such an issue. And I think not only just that, but the 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 idea that companies or distillers or anyone who's in that whole supply chain from making to selling, you're reducing. I guess you still could have some spillage or breakage, but you're not breaking. The bottle's not going to break. I guess, right? I mean, so how? Well, I
It's
get
not.
yeah. So Wayne, what about the up at the up at the top there, right? I mean, are we still going? Do you still? Is there still a cork popping experience?
It's going to have a recyclable plastic neck with an aluminum twist tab on
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Cap.
Cap.
It's cap. We
Okay.
don't have a cork on it.
Okay.
Our current bottles have a nice little rubber cork.
Okay.
We don't have that. And you have to give certain things up. It's there are limitations as to what they can do now. And I'm not saying that won't happen. Maybe in the future, you get a cork top of some kind. Maybe they'll work that in.
Right.
But right now, it is very definable as to what you can use. But I will say this, that the other beautiful thing about this bottle is when let's say it's empty, the staff or crew at whatever establishment, when you're done, there's a tab, like a spot at the top of the bottle, near the neck, that you put pressure on, and it breaks it open, so you can literally dismantle it and take the plastic and the paper and separate them.
Oh
It's
wow.
it it is just brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant, and we're very happy to be part of it. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't even think about that. I thought where you were going was it was I was thinking that you take the liner out and then you could reuse the bottle or sell it back or get 5 cents on the bottles or whatever. But no, okay, yeah, I you went
it
different.
is.
Yeah.
Break it apart and literally flatten it. I mean, here's another good example. Like, let's say you're a cruise ship uh, line, right? It's lighter. It's so much lighter. Uh, Talk about non-breakable, of course, but then when you're done with it, you've got this waste that you don't have to worry about. It's just, I mean, it literally flattens out. It's beautiful. So cruise ships, airlines, resorts
Yeah.
across the world.
And
Yeah,
and yeah, all right. So
beautiful thing.
and again, as a part of the business aspect of it is, like you said, it's lighter. So yeah, okay, the same amount of fluid is going to go in the bottle, but yet the bottle is not going to weigh, and then you multiply that by X number and so forth. Is yeah, it does add up. So shipping is going to be, so. Yeah.
shipping. Yeah, again, back to the carbon footprint, right?
Mhm.
Shipping is going to be so much lighter. Uh, I don't know what that does. There are numbers on it, but I don't have them in front
Mhm.
of me actually. Um, Kingsbury does have numbers on how that helps from a shipping standpoint
Mhm.
and carbon footprint, but it's exponential. It just
Yeah.
keeps adding up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
No, that's again. I applaud you guys doing something a little different, and and that's some of the things. And again, you believe, it's more than just a thing. You do believe in it. Again,
Yeah. I
being
wish I could show you one right now, but like I said, we have an event, and when we go live, I believe we are, right?
mm, yep,
Maybe at some point in the future,
yep,
I'll have that bottle.
perfect. All right, so yeah,
Yeah.
so I think we're scheduled to tune again. If you're listening to this podcast is going to drop. Shoot, I should do it. I think the 11th. I'm trying to look here
Sounds
off
right.
camera. The 11th, right? It's going to drop the 11th. So you're listening to this podcast for the first run. It is April 11th. We are taping this on April 8th. So again, we're talking about the future here. So when you listen to all this conversation to kind of keep track of what we're talking about, and then on April 13th, we're going to be live with Wayne. And you think you could pull your good buddy there, Jeff, with you, or into?
Jeff may or may not be in there. I think he
Okay,
might have to travel that day. So
okay,
it's probably you're just going to see me again,
okay.
most likely.
That's fine.
If I can pull Rick in, I
Yeah.
might pull Rick in.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah. So again, if you're listening to this, we do our happy hour here, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I know for Wayne, it's not or 7 p.m. Again, I've got my
Well,
time zone.
actually, I'll be in Vegas. I'll be in Vegas
Oh,
at that
oh.
point.
See
So
now I don't. Yeah. I'm just.
yeah, it's just
You figured
now
out.
we're playing with time and space. So here we go.
8 p.m. Eastern time, the biggest happy hour in a half an hour. Again, over on our YouTube page. There, again, it's we could try to get in and out. And again, we're gonna premiere this video. So again, if you're listening to it, but if you want to see some of the visual things, obviously you're listening to on the podcast format. Come over to the Drums and Rums channel on 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to premiere the video, and then we're going to go right into our live stream happy hour with Wayne, maybe Rick. Who knows who's going to show up? We're going to see this bottle that we're talking about, on the camera there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Wayne. So again, this is great. So real quick before we start wrapping things up here, a couple things I just did want to come back to is we talked a lot about the marketing and obviously the branding and the idea, the word. You had the name of the rum before you actually had the product, and you kind of had a vision. You do have a
Mhm.
marketing background, right? That's kind of a little bit in your
Yeah,
wheelhouse, correct? Right.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah. So do you talk a little bit?
exactly.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about some of that marketing experience. So don't have to get get into
Sure,
name names or whatever if you
sure.
don't want to.
I've been in the advertising industry for my whole career actually, and marketed a vast number of products, and helped actually generate some beer brands and things like that, micro brews and things like that, but had never done a brand for myself, quite frankly. Well,
Okay.
I'm always marketing somebody else's product. Um, and this was a really exciting thing for me to grab hold of and build from the ground up. From the name, which wasn't mine, that was Jeff, all Jeff,
Mm.
Demon Rum, that's him. So, from the ground up, uh, everything brand, you know, tone, look, feel, everything, all the way down through this eco bottle. Yeah, it's been a fun ride, fun ride. I'm very proud of it. I have a little experience in brand strategy and that kind of thing, so we can go and build this thing for a long time in many directions,
So you know
and
the
we're excited about
the
that.
verticals and the different, right, like you said, the different approaches, so forth. So
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
it's
Yeah, so
very
we're excited
helpful.
about
Yeah, I mean, again, you can have probably the best product, and if you don't know how to get it to the people, that's kind of an unfortunate, right? And there's a lot of people like
And I
that,
just
right?
want to let me touch on that for just a second. So, yeah, a brand and the way it looks and feels and sounds and everything is one thing, but quite frankly, the product in the bottle is fantastic. It's fantastic. If it wasn't, I couldn't be so behind it. I couldn't get behind it like we did, and feel as good about it as we do. The
Gotcha.
product it's smooth. It's, you know, our tagline is sinfully smooth, and if it doesn't fit that, it's not going in the bottle. So both flavor profiles right now, the spiced and the Tropicoco, oh my gosh, you cannot make a bad cocktail with it. Pure and simple.
So,
And people drink the spiced on the rocks.
mm,
And like I said earlier, that's just something that doesn't happen.
right, yeah, yeah. I don't think anyone's drinking the other spiced product.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't say who. So, so yeah, just real quick before yeah, we talk more about the spice, but yeah, the cocoa. So what's a little bit about the cocoa product
Mhm.
there? So you can give a quick rundown
Right.
of a little bit of.
Right here, Tropicoco. This came out, it's been out about 2 years now, actually. Let's see, how can I do this on the camera? There we go.
The other way, the other way.
Right. Oh,
There you go. That's it, right
there
there,
we go.
right there.
There we go. Demon Tropicoco. So when you see the new paper bottles, I mean, the graphics can be, you know, so much more dynamic. Clear bottle, obviously, somewhat more difficult to play with from a graphic standpoint, but the the booze in the bottle is really what it comes down to and where it starts, right? So once again, you know, sugarcane molasses, Caribbean rum, blended with all natural flavors and ingredients that we built so that you could make just a smooth, beautiful cocktail with it. It's more of I call it our summertime rum, really. If you're you know, outdoors on a beach, on a boat, you know, by a pool, this is it right here. Tropicoco is, you can't make a bad cocktail with it. I swear to God. And they complement each other. So some cocktails, and you look at our recipes online at drinkdemonrum.com, we use both rums
Oh, okay.
in some of those, and just wow, yeah, talk about the 1-2 punch.
So the Tropicoco, what's
Tropicoco, yeah.
Tropicoco? So what's the proof?
They're 80,
They're
both
both
80
80. Okay,
proof,
okay,
all natural.
great.
Yeah.
And it's is it and is the flavoring very a more of a coconut flavor?
So
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, so thus the cocoa, I'm going to call it a buttery, it's got some complex flavors in it, which is what we try to do. You know, it's a buttery, coconutty, with citrusy. It's got a twist of citrus in it. But I recommend you try both of these rums with a real simple mix first, like quite literally. You know, the Cuba Libre is the easiest and most tried and true rum cocktail, which is really like a cola with a lime. Try both of these with cola and a lime, and you can't go wrong. And then just build upon that. Go from there and experiment with, you know, some of the recipes
Cool. Yeah.
that we have.
So yeah, so definitely yeah, drinkdemonrum.com. A lot of recipes. I was perusing through some of them. Very creative names for some of them. You know, I know I laughed when I said the dirty Arnie. You know, again, this is we're taping the weekend of the Masters, so you know, obviously
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Yeah, very good. You pick up on that. Yeah, the dirty Arnie. It's an Arnie Palmer with a splash of cola in there, and once again, you know, you squeeze in a little lemon, and oh man, it's a summertime delight, really.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do you golf?
Can't go wrong. I golf. I'm not a golfer.
Okay.
So there's a distinction between those two.
Do you have a pair of? I mean, do you have golf clubs? Right.
I do. Yes.
Okay, so all right, so you're in the same league as me, so that's all we got to do, right? We just got to go. We just use golfing as an excuse to drink, right? So
You're exactly right.
Yeah, so that's the kind of golfer I am.
I get better as I go.
I know. Yeah, so yeah, when you come to Florida, we got to set up some golf because obviously there's tons of golf courses here, and we've actually talked about it's like this idea of like doing a rum tournament. You know, every hole there's a different company, and again, say people can
Mm,
get really fucked up, in 18 holes if they're getting little samples of different. I don't know. We could figure it out.
yeah,
I think it'd be great fun,
yeah.
and part of as all the different folks that come on again, I treat, I look at everybody the same. I really cherish the relationships that connecting with, people that have come on, the guests, they're all together, right? And it's like children.
You bet.
People ask me, "What's your favorite?" I'm like, that's hard to say. It depends on
Can't do
where
it.
you are, and you can't do it right. And again, if somebody gets me on tape saying, "Well, this is the one I like," and of course that'd be like, "Oh, everyone else." And now I'm getting a little way off
Well,
topic.
quite frankly, I mean, I'm just going to echo that. I mean, we would not have done a rum product if we didn't already like rum, right? So we
Fair.
love rum. Um, we know what good rum is, which is the other side of the whole equation. You know what good rum is. Let's match that and raise the bar a little bit. How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. There
So
you go.
there you
I
go.
like that. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, and availability, you said they're available in Wisconsin, Las Vegas, in online too.
We just moved into California. We're moving into Arizona. Very soon, probably be in West Virginia and Alabama. We do have licensing in Florida. We look to move there very soon, but also online. It can be delivered to 33 states right now through our website at, once again, drinkdemonrum.com. You can hit the buy demon button on our website, and you can have it delivered right to your door.
All right. Excellent. So yeah.
And the paper bottle will be available online as well as soon as we get this rollout announced to the world.
And you're fully changing over everything, right? From glass fully to.
So yeah, that is our plan. There's going to be a transition. Obviously, we've got some product in the warehousing that is still in glass bottles, but yeah, our goal is to make everything in paper bottles going forward.
Okay.
We're not going to produce any more product in the glass bottles, but we obviously have to sell through it. So
Understood.
yeah,
Understood. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well, yeah. Let's talk about Florida here. So we can talk maybe more offline, but I think, like I said,
yeah.
I've talked a
I
little bit with
agree.
I've talked a little bit with Rick, and like I said, let's talk offline. So, all right. So
Okay.
I know you're a big fan of the podcast. I know you listen, you watch it, you download it every week, and all these things. So
Absolutely.
you know what segment is coming up next, right, Wayne?
Yes.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right. So in our 4 sips or less here. So obviously, as we said, it's a rapid fire questions. Here, 4 questions, 4 sips, and the first thing that comes to mind when we pop it up on the screen here, I'll ask you. So in 4 sips or less, neat or on ice?
Ice.
Okay. All right. In 4 sips or less, best place for cheese curds. Since you're Wisconsin, let's get some travel
Oh
tips
my
here.
gosh. I gotta say, I mean, yeah, anywhere in Wisconsin,
Okay.
anywhere. I mean, but Ellsworth, just down the road from us, Ellsworth Cheese Factory has the best cheese curds. Squeaky, cheesy, wonderful.
All right, Ellsworth, we'll be sending you our invoice for that plug in the mail.
Exactly.
And like I said, as we were talking earlier, was as you know, I was up there this past week in the
Yeah.
east side.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, and no, so you're on the west side, more in west, right?
We are.
Okay,
Yeah, we're right on the St. Croix River, actually, Hudson, Wisconsin.
okay.
Right. So beautiful little town. You can find good cheese curds anywhere
Yeah.
around here.
I
And good rum. Yeah.
cheese curds and rum. That's it. That's a whole new show. So I need to talk to our good pal Nia, because Nia actually, let me think about it now. Is now since we're talking cheese and rum, it actually is a thing. So our good friend Nia from My Rum Diaries, she's got YouTube channel. She's a rum reviewer and on YouTube, and she did a video where she did a cheese and rum pairing and with somebody else,
Ooh,
that kind of different things. So, so yeah, we'll have to put that link in there somewhere.
can't go wrong. Can't
No,
go wrong.
oh, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
and and we are fortunate. We do have some Wisconsin here in South Florida, at least, and probably I don't know, maybe the rest of the state. We have Culver's here, so it's going to be like at home for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Love the butter burger. You gotta love it. Yeah.
All right. So it's question number 3 here are you also a football fan too?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. So a
I
green.
grew up on the east side of the state in a little town called Green Bay, by the way.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
No, of course not.
All right. So good. So in 4 sips or less here, Favre or Rodgers?
Oh man.
There you
It's a
go.
1-2 combo.
That's
That's a
right.
1-2 combo. I got to tip my hat to the first of the two because, he started us on a heck of a run, didn't he?
Yep. Yep.
And I believe Rodgers did learn
Yep.
quite a
So,
bit watching. So I'm going to say, let's go Favre
all right. So
and Rodgers.
All right. So Brett
And
Favre.
then and then we're segueing into Jordan Love.
Uh,
That's what we're doing.
I think.
The era of love right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's go. Go
So
Pack, go.
is Aaron, see, you're like you said, Aaron learned, and there was a succession, and
Yeah.
Aaron's apparently also wanted to go to the Jets too, right? Did that happen yet? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
It
it's not happened. They're still
talking about
haggling.
it, yeah,
I think it's going to happen,
yeah.
but who knows?
All right, so a little bit of a Farver,
He's a good guy.
yeah,
I don't know him personally, but both those gentlemen are outstanding. Obviously great quarterbacks and good people. So good for the state.
yeah,
I'll say
for
that.
sure, for sure. All right, Aaron. So hit Wayne up, be the spokesperson for Demon Rum,
There you go.
and quarterbacks. There you go. So you heard it first. So.
I appreciate that.
All right, here. So our last one here. So in 4 sips or less, and we talked. I know this wasn't really as the podcast is a drums and rum. Sometimes we talk about both topics. Sometimes we just talk about only one or the other. And I know we didn't
Mhm.
talk a whole lot about obviously music, but I'm sure you're a big music fan here. So I'm gonna hit you with another one here. In 4 sips or less, favorite band growing up and favorite current band or artist.
Whew, man, that's a big, big, broad question. Favorite band growing up? Boy, I don't know. I struggled during that 70s era when disco and all that
Mm,
stuff happened. And there were certain bands that really kind of, in my mind, saved me, right, from that. And I'll just say they carried through. Now you could go back to, Led Zeppelin. They
mm,
were they were in existence during that whole time and era.
right.
But I'll say, boy, it's got to be during that time because I'm saying they saved me and took me out of that whatever that was. Now some people love disco. I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I think it's making a comeback.
I'll say Aerosmith and or Cheap Trick
All
during
right,
the
yeah.
time.
All right, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good, yeah.
yeah, those guys. Thank you to both of them very much. And current. Boy, I just can't. I don't think I can do that. I mean, there's too many wonderful.
Is
I do lean towards rock and roll
mm,
and or, you know, alternative, that kind of thing. But I love my country. I
mm.
love, country music and love my country too. But um, I just don't know that I can help you out there.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'd love to hear yours, but I
I'm the host of this
if
show.
you're a music lover, it's almost I'm asking you now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whose
Let's flip
interview
the
is this?
tables.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing you. What's with this drums thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I can't say. I
All right.
really can't
Yeah,
say.
I know it's tough
Too
because
many really good up and comers.
and we live now in a
I'll say this.
okay.
I came across this band. It's an alt band. Boy, these girls can rock. Wet Leg. Whew, beautiful.
What,
Beautiful.
what was the name again?
Rocking. Wet Leg.
Wet leg.
Leg.
Wet
Wet
leg.
leg.
Okay. Well, all right. You already got my attention, so
Okay. Check them out.
all right, we'll check them
some
out.
interesting stuff.
Very
And dynamic and good as well.
all right, very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I know as we get older and our music, kind of frame. I've read an article that said like at 27 or 29, our music kind of starts to get encapsulated in that up to that point that we don't listen to new music. Most people, right? And just
Hmm.
generalized, of course.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
again, if you already like a band like an Aerosmith, and Aerosmith comes out with a new CD, you may or may not. And I find very much time, and I can't believe I'll admit this, is like a lot of the new Metallica stuff. Been big fan growing up and as a teenager,
Yeah.
and
Loved them. Yep.
I to tell you, I haven't probably listened to the new stuff, and it just there's so much other stuff, and anyway, so forth. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
so
Like you, I love music. So I mean,
yeah,
you can find it. You can find good stuff everywhere. I mean, my God, we so like I said, we're right across the river from the Twin Cities here, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Boy, great music that's come out of there and is still going on. So wherever you are, just go out and find it. I
yeah,
love live music, and now that COVID thing is behind us, go find it. Find some good rum, sip it,
excellent.
drink it,
I love it.
enjoy
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
you embody the same things that I talk a lot about. Is look when we're at the like here in Florida, we are at our amphitheater and we're up in the grass and we're enjoying a good time. And how does a spirit or beverage, alcoholic beverage, and music not go hand in hand? They do, right? And that's a
Mhm.
part where
They do.
I've realized this during COVID was this whole virtuous cycle of how things rely on each other, right? It's like the circle of life, as Disney calls it. You have so musicians were impacted because establishments that they perform at were closed. Liquor sales were now impacted because the establishments people aren't going out. But then a lot of states allowed
Mhm.
for alcohol sales and still to kind of keep open as emergency. That was an emergency thing, right? Especially like here in Florida, liquor stores were considered an essential business, right up there with
Right.
hospitals, right? And but yeah, but again, there's all these things that kind of this ecosystem of how things go, and so I kind of look at trying to say how do I take some of the music aspect or musicians or friends that are musicians, tie it into a spirit and kind of let's go with this together, right? And but yeah,
Yeah.
you're totally on board. Again, I could be sitting up in the grass, enjoying a beverage. I don't know the guy next to me, what their religion, party affiliation is, what they're about. We're enjoying it. We're in the moment. We're enjoying the moment, right? And that's
That's it.
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Nicely said.
Yep.
Yeah. Way
So
to go.
so
Love
welcome,
it.
welcome, Wayne, to the podcast alum. Now you are now part of the. Where's the shirt there? If I can put it the right way, upside down there.
Woo.
So you are now part of our drums and rums alums there. So again, it's all catching. So as we say, we're the backbeats meets the spirits, right? So that slogan came
Yep.
to
Love
me.
that, by the way.
Thank you. That slogan came to me when I was in Nashville in December of 2019. Everyone knows that on the podcast knows the story. And when I was up there for a drum workshop, and it just hit me, and I'm like, I love this idea, taking these two things together. And that's kind of where the drums and rums kind of thing is. I do drum, as you see
Yep.
behind me there. My bar shelves are made out of drums, and
Love that too.
yeah, and
We may have to collaborate on something that,
yeah,
with that, yeah,
I
you know,
I have no problem with
point of
that.
sale.
That's
Big.
yeah, no, for sure, and yeah, and we like I said, we got to get you in Florida here because I know there's yeah,
Yeah.
we got to talk here. So yeah, so welcome to the alum here. So as we're wrapping up here, Wayne. So again, closing comments. What do you want to again promote? Make sure what people to check out. I know you got to, like I said, the bottle's coming here soon. Here, great new
Sure.
product coming out. Here's again the shameless plug opportunity here. So go for it.
Sure. So, I mean, there's a lot of brands, a lot of great products out there, and I I ask everyone to, use their own judgment, their discernment, and put them side by side, flavor, test, product quality, that kind of thing. Give us a shot. Give Demon Rum a shot. Order a bottle online if you can't get it nearby. But you know, it's a great world out there, and there's a lot of great products. So, enjoy some good music, sip some good rum, and live in the moment, which I really love your point there. Yeah, live in that moment because it's the only one we got.
That's right. That's right. So all right, excellent. So Wayne, again, I appreciate the you coming on the podcast here talking about Neiman Ruins. Again,
Thanks for
I
having
know
us.
we've been working with Rick on lining up, and again want to learn about it, and then I was like, yeah, this is an interesting. I got to learn more. I want to learn more, and hopefully, if I want to learn more, others will listen to this podcast and say, "This is pretty neat." Now I know it's on my radar. It's at least I know I've heard of it, and so when I'm somewhere and I catch it, I'm like, "Oh, I remember hearing about it on the Drums and Rums podcast." And so again, thank you for coming on, and looking forward to chatting a little bit more again. Uh, later this week here,
Likewise.
yep, on the live stream and then the live premiere also when we do it, and then we'll be live in the chat, and hopefully, both you and Rick will be able to join in the live stream premiere chat to answer any questions, and then hopefully everybody comes over to the live stream at 8 p.m. as well too. So I'll send you reminders and all those things here. So
Beautiful.
yep. So
Thank you,
like,
Paul. We appreciate what you do.
yeah, you got it.
Thank
So I'd
you.
like to thank Wayne for coming on the podcast, talking about Demon Spirits and his journey there. Check out Drums and Rums podcast. Give it a like and follow. Lots of other great episodes are out there. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube page. Go to the website. Again, please rate 5 stars on Apple. Like, that is actually important. People do look at those things. And, it sounds like a crock. Go to Apple Podcasts, hit 5 stars, give us a review. And then, again, I want to thank you all and have a great day. This is Paul, where the backbeats meets the spirits. Cheers, y'all.